especially with mobile phones. But in cars, it's perceived extremely negatively. And I read an article about the new Ford Sync system, and people say it's just overcomplicated and hard to use. And so again, the really most important thing for a mobile internet system in a car is the ease of use. If it's making things more complicated for the car driver, then it cannot be successful. People will not pay money for that. Yeah, so those three sub-dimensions, parking spot finder, navigation, and usability, we can put them together in the dimension of convenience. One is the second main dimension. All right, so one next big thing is social network access. So as we have seen in the beginning, yeah, like Facebook has more than 500 million users worldwide. And then there are other social networks, for example, very business-oriented, like LinkedIn.com or Xing.com, the former Open Business Club. And so we could find new ways how to chat or send and receive messages in a safe way. It's not the way you are doing in your computer at home, but so yeah, that's one of the main difficulties. But when we will solve that in a good way, then the system will be really successful. Okay. And another thing that is very important, it can even like save your life, is weather information. So yeah, I'm not only talking about sunshine, but also about like very, very critical and like weather information like aquaplaning or floodings, and like when you go to the mountains in Taiwan, rockfall, or very strong winds. Just like 6 months ago, there was a really horrible accident in Germany, and like 80 people died because wind pushed some dust on the highway, and then was a mass accident. So this kind of weather information is, yeah, it should be also pushed to your car, and when you have mobile internet, this can be realized. And another thing is connection to public transportation. There's one concept in Germany called park and ride, and it just means that you can drive with your car to a special parking space that is directly next to public transportation. And so you can combine the best of two worlds, car and public transportation. And especially with big cities, we just talk about it's difficult to find a parking space. Or like in London, not all cars are allowed to enter the city. You need to buy the permission to drive your car into London CBD. So actually, sometimes it makes sense to put your car somewhere and just take a train like an MRT or HSR and drive into the city. So yeah, this feature is also wanted by a lot of people. So in those three dimensions, we can put together into the bigger dimension called information. So all information related dimensions. Okay, and now in the last part we have edutainment. So edutainment is a neologism of entertaining and education. And what is meant with that? It is meant that we could access online podcasts, for example, or maybe some of you know lectures, like in iTunes, you have iTunes U, and you can download lectures from Harvard or something, and or interview. So it's more about like, if you want to educate yourself and ride your car, yeah, you can do that. You don't need to save it on your iPod or a USB stick. You can just access it while you drive. And then in the future, we could also think for the passengers about games, but this is not focus of my study, but it's still mentioned. And another big thing is music. So especially web radio would enable people to listen to radio stations that are not available in a geographic location. And another big thing could be playlist sharing. So especially when you have many mobile devices and you always want to have your personalized playlist. And then of course another big thing could be streaming. So streaming right now is a pretty hot topic. actually, Google just a few weeks ago launched Google Music Beta. So you can save your music there and then stream it to your, to your Android device, or even on iPhone it works. So yeah, it's obvious people also would like to use that in their car. And Amazon is offering a similar service already since February. And right now, Apple hasn't launched it yet, but in the next few weeks, they will launch also a streaming service. So when you purchase music in iTunes, you can access it from like any computer in the world. It will be streamed when you sign in. So, and especially for Apple, like if people have thousands of songs purchased there, they also want to access it in their car. So with mobile internet, we can do that. Okay, and the last subdimension would be, yeah, movies and entertainment for passengers. I mean, of course, obviously not for the driver, but actually right now, online videos like YouTube or P2P, like here in Asia, very big is PPS. In USA and Europe, this is Juice. So, according to Cisco in 2010, they said that in 4 years, 94% of the consumer internet traffic will be caused only by videos. So, we can deduct if 94% of the consumer internet traffic is only caused by videos, it means people also want to have that in their car. So, and those three subdimensions we can put together into the upper dimension, entertainment. Okay, and this is my research model. It's all those 4 dimensions with each 3 subdimensions. So, okay, let's have a look at the questionnaire design. So since I use analytic hierarchy process, I will use a pairwise comparison, and I am of course using the scale from 1 to 9, suggested by Sati. And so, like here in this example, I compare parking slot finder with navigation with real-time updates. So then the question will just ask the respondent, what factor is more important for you? Please state that. So questionnaire is already designed and is also in your appendix. And yeah, I'm very looking forward to comments. And yes, so what is my contribution? My contribution will be rankings of the model you have just seen. And then we can clearly see, of course, only for Taiwan, because I conduct this study in Taiwan. But then we can clearly see what factors are more important. And based on that, yeah, we can make recommendations for the car industry. Like on what, for example, 5 features you should really focus. And of course, they should omit the less wanted features. And yes, as I also mentioned in my thesis proposal, that the statement from Steve Jobs, the say no to 1,000 features, they should also do that. Because usually when you launch a new technology, then people like to put a lot of features inside to attract the early adopters. But I think for this kind of system, we should start to go directly to the early majority. That would be better. Because BMW is already going to innovators and early adopters since 2004. So it's just a very, very small percentage. So with this study, I want to help to design a system that can go directly to the mass market. And of course, having increased user acceptance. Okay. Thank you very much. That's my presentation.